Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Ops Engineering Showcase for the APAC APAC-friendly time. Today we have one demo by Tristan, and he will be talking about incident timelines. And yeah, do you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, sure. So I've dropped a link to the APAC and designs in the agenda. If you want to take a look, and yeah, I'll share my screen and just show a really quick demo of what we've been working on. So I'll just share my screen. Just zoom in a little bit. Yeah, so hopefully you can see on my local GDK an incident list. Yeah, so you can access this under monitor incidents. These can be manually created or auto created from alerts that come into GitLab. Yeah, and I'll pop into an incident and show the new feature, which is the timeline. Yeah, so incidents, if you haven't seen them before, they look a lot like issues. They're based on the same code, so they share a bunch of common stuff, and then more or less it's got a few features removed and a few features added to reflect the different use case. In this case, we're going to look at the timeline. So this, the idea behind this is it's primarily aimed at like SREs and incident response users. And it will be used in both during and while an incident is occurring, and also afterwards as like a post-mortem retrospective tool. Yeah, so it's similar to the system notes concept that we have in issues, except the main difference is that you can see they're grouped by day and they can be added with a specific time in mind. So system notes just happen when they happen, but the timeline will, you can specify like something happened in the past, so you want it to pop up to the top of the timeline. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and add a new timeline event. So at the moment, this is still a work in progress. And it's pretty basic, but you can set like, you can specify a time. You can say some event happened. I could select a day in the past, and then we'll see the event appear. Yeah, and you can, at the moment on this branch, you can delete and edit. Edit is also coming. Yeah, that's pretty much it. One thing that will be interesting to know is that there are a bunch of different types of timeline events that a user will be able to add. At the moment, it's just comments with some basic, like a really basic subset of GitLab flavored Markdown, which contains just bold, italics, links, and tags, like tagging users, which is to, yeah, just to keep it simpler, to allow the timeline to not get filled up with too much noise, like visual noise. If you could add like the full Markdown set, then yeah, then that could cause that issue. Also, status changes on the incident, publishing incident status to a status page if you have that set up, and like creating the incident from an alert. So this will contain that background information. And then another feature that's being worked on is adding a timeline event from a system note. And also there's going to be a slash command shortcut for this as well. Yeah, so that's what's being developed so far. I thought it might be interesting for people to hear about, either from like a feature perspective of like, this is what's coming, or if you're interested in like the SRE workflow, this could be interesting. Probably worth mentioning that the first customer for this is our internal SRE team. So we've been designing it to be dog-fooded, and then yeah, so that's kind of the first use case that we're aiming at. And yeah, possibly the other interesting thing is just if from a dev perspective, you might want to know, it might be useful to know like the parts of the code that are being reused and updated and stuff. So like, for instance, we updated this markdown editor to support, to add an extra field that lets you select exactly which features to support. And those can be enabled and disabled in the view component. And then they won't show up in the editor. Yeah, and on that specific note, I think our backend has a custom markdown like endpoint for creating the HTML, which works with the exact ones that we've enabled / disabled. So yeah, if anyone was thinking of like doing their own custom set of markdown that they wanted to support, then yeah, here's an example of that you could look at. Yeah, I see that there's some questions, so I'll have a look at those.
Yeah, thank you so much for showing this. This looks pretty cool. I went into my test project and I couldn't see it, so I'm assuming it's either under behind feature flag, or is it under development still?
Yeah, it's still under development, so it's behind the development feature flag.
Yep, cool.
We're aiming to remove the flag in 15.1. But yeah, these things, I'm not going to make a total 100% promise that it'll make it into 15.1, but yeah, that's the plan at the moment.
Yeah, that's cool. It looks really nice. Marcel, do you want to voice your question?
Yeah, I was just wondering what other kinds of details do you think you'll be throwing into those individual entries? Because right now it's pretty basic. So I was wondering if you're going to put in like reporter, who's reporting the item, who like the date or time it was updated or changed or added, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think the idea is to try and differentiate it from system notes to only include things that are relevant for incidents, but definitely the reporting of the incident would be useful. There's also talk of adding another feature to incidents, which is the I think it's like a DRI type concept versus like assignee. So that would like show up at the top of the incident, and so you can see on the timeline when someone has assigned themselves that role. I think that's definitely far in the future, though. That it's yeah, just a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm not sure what else we're adding soon to this, but apart from what I've seen in the design. Yeah, but there's some discussion on the APAC about different things that can be added.
Any plans to show like a visual graph of the timeline? You know, like maybe significant events that happen or something.
Yeah, good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be interesting, I think.
yeah. Somewhere we have a like we've done like some design discussions with the SRE team. So that's one of the bases of the initial feature set. Yeah, I don't remember that coming up during that, but yeah, it does sound like a useful feature.
Yeah, cool. And like, I had another question in terms of like, how the incidents are used. I haven't used them myself, but are there any plans to like integrate the chat ops? So, you know, when you create an incident and the chat ops, it's created on your project or something like that?
Yes, that's a big upcoming focus for us is chat ops. Yeah, so there's another epic floating around which I can find and link here, which is about Slack integration. So initially we're going to focus some features on like chat ops features on Slack specifically, and build out the integration there. I believe there's even there's a group of people in GitLab who've been talking to Slack about supporting chat ops better as well. So yeah, there's definitely some like good features that can be added there, and it would for sure be integrated with incidents. Yeah, so I'd expect to see at some point in the future once that chat ops stuff is built. Yeah, it definitely makes sense to be added for some of those events to be added to the timeline.
Yeah, nice. Well, it looks really interesting. Thanks for sharing that. Did anyone else have any questions? No, any other impromptu demos anyone want to share? No, it's a long shot. If not, then I guess we can stop the recording. And yeah, thank you all for coming today. This is just a reminder, this is a monthly thing that we have. We don't have a lot of participation in APAC, so it'll be cool if we get a few more people demoing their work. And yeah, just remember, it's just a friendly space just to show, even if it's rough under development. That's what we like to see. So yeah.
Hey, I have a question there. So should we demo something that has been like merged in production, or do we? Oh, okay, got it. So anything.
Yeah.
Work in progress. Cool.
Any work in progress, even if it's a POC and you know we're not sure we're gonna actually merge it or not. All those kinds of things, because at the end of the day, it's for people in the department to know what everyone else is working on, and you know, figure out a bit of collaboration if possible.
Sounds good.
All right, then I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you, everyone.